English learners. Welcome back to the English Leap. Do you understand English, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank? A calm, friendly place where you improve your English, step by step, without pressure.
And hello, everyone. If you understand English but still struggle to speak, today's episode is especially for you. You know the words, you know the grammar, but your mouth just doesn't move.
Why can you understand movies in English but freeze in a real conversation?
And why does your mind stop working when someone speaks to you?
In this full series, we'll share 8 powerful tips that will help you unlock your English voice.
Each episode will focus on 1 or 2 key ideas.
Slow, clear, and practical, so you can actually use them.
Today we'll start with something very important, the big question.
Yusuf, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Why do so many people understand English but can't speak it?
That's a great question.
Because honestly, this problem frustrates learners more than grammar or vocabulary.
Exactly. Many learners say, I understand everything, but I can't reply. Understanding versus speaking, the difference.
First, let's clear one thing. Understanding English and speaking English are 2 different skills. Understanding is a passive skill. Speaking is an active skill. It's like watching someone swim.
And then jumping into the water yourself.
Watching feels easy.
But swimming needs practice, movement, and confidence. Why your brain freezes when you speak.
Let's talk about the real reason behind this problem.
Your brain is not broken.
Your English is not weak.
The real issue is fear and habit.
Fear of mistakes.
Fear of judgment.
Fear of sounding stupid.
And the habit of only listening, not speaking. Real life example.
Let me give you a real-life example.
Simple question.
In your mind, you understand it perfectly.
But before speaking, your brain starts thinking.
What tense should I use? Is my pronunciation correct? What if I make a mistake?
And boom, silence. Important truth. Please listen carefully.
Here's an important truth.
You don't need perfect English to speak.
You need permission to be imperfect.
Native speakers don't speak perfectly either.
Many English learners understand almost everything they hear. They can watch English videos, listen to podcasts, and follow conversations without much trouble. But when it's time to speak, fear suddenly appears. The heart beats faster, the mind feels empty, and words stop coming out. If this happens to you, let me tell you something important. This problem is very common, and it does not mean your English is weak.
Exactly. In fact, this problem usually happens to people who already understand English well. The issue is not vocabulary or grammar. The real problem is fear, especially the fear of making mistakes. Today, in part 2 of our series, we're going to talk about how this fear starts, why it feels so strong, and how you can slowly break it.
Fear of mistakes often comes from past experiences. Maybe someone corrected you in a rude way. Maybe people laughed when you spoke English. Or maybe you were always compared with others who spoke better than you. Over time, your brain learns one dangerous lesson. Speaking English is.
And this is very important to understand. Your brain is not your enemy. It is trying to keep you safe. But the problem is that your brain does not understand the difference between real danger and imagined danger. Speaking English is not dangerous, but your brain treats it like it is. That is why fear appears even before you open your mouth.
Here is a truth that can change the way you think. Making mistakes is not the problem. Staying silent is the real problem. When you make a mistake, you are still practicing. You are still learning. But when you stay silent, nothing improves. Every confident English speaker you see today made thousands of mistakes before becoming fluent.
Even native speakers make mistakes every day. They forget words, change sentences in the middle, repeat themselves, and sometimes say the wrong thing, but they continue speaking. Confidence does not come from speaking perfect English. Confidence comes from continuing to speak even when English is not perfect.
One big reason learners cannot speak is overthinking. Before saying even a simple sentence, the brain starts checking grammar, tense, pronunciation, and accent. This thinking happens very fast, but not fast enough for conversation. By the time you are ready, the moment to speak is already gone.
Fluent speakers do not plan every sentence in their head. They speak first and correct later. Fluency is about speed, not perfection. If you want to speak better, you must allow yourself to speak quickly with simple English instead of slowly with perfect English.
This tip may sound strange, but it is very powerful. Give yourself permission to speak bad English. When you remove the pressure of perfection, your body relaxes and your mouth opens more easily. You stop fighting your brain, and your brain stops blocking you.
Use simple sentences. Use easy words. Pause when you need to. Repeat yourself if necessary. The goal is communication, not performance. When you accept imperfect English, confidence starts growing naturally.
Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls again and again, but no one says, "Stop walking until you walk perfectly." Speaking English is the same. You are learning a skill, not taking a test. Mistakes are part of the process.
Next time you feel fear before speaking, say this sentence to yourself. I am allowed to make mistakes. This one sentence can reduce fear more than you think.
Many learners damage their confidence with negative self-talk. They say things like, "My English is bad," or "People will judge me," or "I'm not good at languages." These thoughts feel normal, but they are very harmful.
Try replacing those thoughts with better ones. You don't need to lie to yourself, just be fair to yourself. Say things like, I am learning, this is practice, or every sentence helps me improve. Your inner voice slowly becomes your outer voice.
Many people wait to feel confident before they speak, but confidence does not work that way. Confidence comes after action, not before it. The first few times you speak, you will feel nervous. That is normal.
Think of confidence like muscle strength. You don't become strong before lifting weights. You become strong by lifting weights again and again. Speaking English is the same. Each time you speak, fear becomes a little weaker.
Many English learners spend hours listening to English every day. They watch videos, listen to podcasts, and follow conversations easily. They feel comfortable while listening, and they understand most of what is being said. But when it's time to speak, they suddenly feel stuck. They hesitate, pause too much, or stay silent. This creates confusion in their mind. They start thinking, if I understand English so well, why can't I speak it?
This is a very important question, and today we are going to answer it clearly. Understanding English and speaking English are connected, but they are not the same skill. In part 3 of this series, we will explain why listening alone is not enough, how your brain gets trapped in listening mode, and what you need to do to move into speaking mode step by step.
Listening feels safe. When you listen, there is no pressure. No one is waiting for your answer. No one is judging your pronunciation or grammar. You can relax, sit quietly, and just receive information. This is why many learners spend most of their time listening and very little time speaking.
But this safety creates a comfort zone. Your brain becomes very good at understanding English, but it does not get enough practice producing English. Over time, the brain learns a habit. I listen, but I don't respond. This habit becomes automatic, and breaking it requires conscious effort.
Many learners believe that if they listen enough, speaking will happen naturally one day. Unfortunately, this is not completely true. Listening improves understanding, pronunciation awareness, and vocabulary recognition, but speaking requires a different kind of training.
Speaking is an active skill. It needs fast thinking, quick word selection, muscle movement in the mouth, and emotional control. If you don't train these things, your brain will stay in listening mode. It's like watching workout videos every day, but never exercising yourself.
Your brain has different modes. One mode is listening mode, where you receive language. Another mode is speaking mode, where you produce language. The problem is that many learners stay in listening mode all the time.
When someone asks you a question in English, your brain continues listening instead of switching to speaking. That's why you understand the question perfectly, but you don't respond quickly. The switch between these two modes is missing, and that switch must be trained.
Now let's talk about an important solution. You must train your brain to switch from listening to speaking. This does not happen automatically. You have to practice it on purpose.
One simple way to do this is active listening. Instead of only listening quietly, pause the audio and speak something, even one sentence. Answer a question. Repeat an idea in your own words. This small action forces your brain to move into speaking mode.
Passive listening means listening without involvement. For example, playing English videos in the background while doing other things. This kind of listening feels productive, but it does not prepare you to speak.
Active listening, on the other hand, means listening with intention. You listen, stop, and respond. Even if your response is short or simple, it activates your speaking muscles and your thinking speed.
Many learners answer questions in their head, not with their mouth. This feels safe, but it does not help speaking. Thinking is not speaking. Your brain and mouth must work together.
When you hear a question in English, answer it out loud, even if you are alone. Your answer does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be spoken. This habit slowly trains your brain to respond verbally instead of silently.
Imagine you're watching a podcast and the speaker asks, "What do you think about this?" Many learners think of an answer in their mind and then move on.
Instead, pause the video and say your answer out loud. Even one sentence is enough. This small change can make a big difference over time.
Silence feels easier because it avoids effort and risk. Speaking,
This is why you must gently push yourself to speak, even when silence feels comfortable. Growth never happens inside comfort.